All right, everyone, let's get to work here. Game 6, Mavs and OKC. I would say this series has followed a pattern very familiar to that of the previous series for the Mavs. Lose game 1, lose game 4, but really be largely in control of the series. They had a nice win at OKC in game 5. The only reason they lost game 4 was due to a late collapse, as it was in the Clippers series. So we're going to get just the Mavs closing it out in business-like fashion, continuing these trends, or is OKC going to be able to turn it?
And we see Isaiah Joe in the starting lineup again. That was a tweak that happened in game 5, and no Josh Giddey there. And look at that. That's a change.
Yeah, an actual good start for OKC. That happened so fast, I didn't even see what happened. What was that?
It was a tip. It was a tip back to a tip, and then I think it was Jalen Williams tipped that to Dort.
And Luka's going to pick up an early foul here on Dort. Dort largely has been able to avoid those cheapies, particularly on the ball. Dort, as Luka kind of steps back a little bit, that's a tough call on him.
And we'll see how Luka looks physically. I think he's been a little bit better over the course of the series, and this was a longer break between 5 and 6 than the other ones in the series.
Yeah, you would think, if anything, that would benefit the Mavs, given Luka has been a little bit hobbled with that knee issue, and he ties it at 2. Doncic, of course, missed one of 2 critical free throws that could have tied it at the end of game 4. That's the only reason we're here right now, you could argue. They try to change sides of the floor and reject the screen, but PJ Washington was all over that on J-Dub. Here's Shay. That pass didn't have a lot of steam out of it. Look out. No, he didn't try to dunk on Gafford. Instead, it'll be Joe forcing it up. Can't do it. I mean, that needed to be an attempt to finish there by Jalen Williams.
And something that we've seen over the course of the series is the support players, not that J-Dub counts as that, not really being successful with the ball in their hands.
Double screen. Luka getting off the ball. Flare screen for Jones Jr. Jones Jr. just lost it. Chet tipping and comes up with it. He'll push it up himself to Joe. Now they're trying to change sides of the floor quickly. They'll switch that. Give it back to Shay. Instead, Dort's going to try to drive it. Goes through Washington and finishes. I like Dort taking his time down there a little more. I was thinking for sure they're going to throw it back to Shay with Gafford on him, but instead they did a nice job of attacking with Gafford out of the paint for once.
And Lou Dort in the dunker spot has not been the most successful, but PJ Washington battled foul trouble in game 5. First half, he was very limited, then had a pretty good second half. Maybe that ends up being the case here again.
So 3-point play for OKC. They're going to a lot of screening actions, trying to get J-Dub onto Luka, and then see if they can attack 2 on the ball here. Gafford going downhill on Shay, and he can't finish over him. But he finished that one.
Yeah, that's a defensive rebound that Oklahoma City should have had, and now it's 2 points for Dallas.
Yeah, that's one of those plays. And Oklahoma City needs to get better at this as a bad rebounding team, of just tipping the ball away when you can't actually grab it. Here's Chet up top. He's going to fire with no hesitation. That's what you love to see as OKC. And I think they probably looked at the film and saw that he needed to just fire those.
Holmgren has struggled shooting not only in this series, but I believe overall in the playoffs.
Yeah, good pressure. Now here's J-Dub going in. Nobody ran with him for OKC, but J-Dub went right through Jones to dunk it.
Overall in the series, Chet Holmgren 25% on 4 3 attempts per game.
Now Irving working against Holmgren, and J-Dub has to kick it out. No advantage. Now they go after Joe. Dort takes it away from behind. More transition for OKC. Trying to run him down. Great effort there. This is going to be a foul, but still impressive that 3 Mavs were able to get back on that play. Just the level of sprinting that guys like Washington, Jones Jr., Gafford have provided has been really impressive.
And Nate, that's the second on PJ Washington. So I presume that Jason Kidd will pull him relatively quickly.
And it looks like who did they go to there? Still leaving him in.
It's
for
still
now.
him
Hard
for
to
now.
tell with the numbers on these black Mavs uniforms. Yeah, Mavs doing a lot of switching here early. And that was a bad decision by J-Dub. But that's I guess it worked out okay. They find Dort for a three. Again, OKC getting the shots up quickly when they're there from the perimeter, and this is the best start they've had.
And I believe they're calling this a 4-point play.
Yeah, Luka, this is they're going to look at a possible challenge here. I don't know that unless they
I wouldn't challenge this.
They think they're going to get an offensive foul here. Ooh.
But that's the leg that went, his right leg went out. I don't think the right leg is the one that made the contact with Luka.
Well, I think if it is the right leg, I don't think that's an offensive foul. I would say that's marginal contact. And so maybe you take away the foul, but it doesn't get it overturned to an offensive foul. That would be my judgment. Let's take another look.
It is the right leg that makes the contact.
Well, so does he get him up top though?
Oh, well, I'll have to look.
No, that's
high
not
five.
A foul. Up top, yeah, that's a high five.
I would say, to me, that's not. It's not an offensive foul either. To me, I think this is just a no call. Personally,
yeah, I think the successful challenge, take away the free throw, no offensive foul.
Yeah, that would be my ruling as well.
But I could see it going all the way to becoming an offensive foul. If so, amazing challenge. I mean, this is certainly a high value challenge.
Playback user asked, in the conference finals being an every other day schedule, would you support longer rest, or is the level of play amped up and up? I think every other day is completely fair for a conference finals.
I disagree. I think you need to have a couple longer breaks in there. All right, here we go. There you go. I bet better explanation from Tony Brothers than we've seen so far.
And it helps that it was an explanation that we and an outcome that we agreed with. So a not a foul, but a made 3-point shot, and so we'll get back after this. So let's see if there. So basically, would your vision be when you change sites, you get an extra day? So like when you travel.
Well, particularly in the West too, it won't be as much of an issue this year, but a lot of times, like that Golden State Houston series back in 2018. I mean, that's a 4-hour flight each way. That one, having a 4-hour flight. I mean, you've got 1, 2. If in a 7-game series, you got to make that flight 4 times. That's a lot.
It is a lot,
and like every other day is a pretty insane tempo, I would say. I think that the finals, they do have more of a break. Yeah, I think they should have at least 2 2-day breaks per series.
Yeah, they could incorporate that. I mean, and there is overall pressure to kind of have the calendar roughly the same, but I think they could find enough room to make that happen for that round. What about 2-3-2 for all playoff series? I personally don't like 2-3-2. I like 2-2-1-1-1.
Yeah, I think it makes it too hard for the road team to win.
Exactly.
Like you should have a chance a realistic chance to close it out on the road in 6 as the road team.
And more back, a little bit more cursory backcourt pressure there from the Thunder.
Now they go for just the straight double right away. That's to take him out of their ATO, but a bad foul by Chet. He's had a couple of reach-ins in this series that are just not what you want him to be doing. But that was interesting there. They just decided to double team just for the purpose of disrupting the ATO, but Jones Jr. is going to get to the line here. He's only been okay as a foul shooter, though. You want to take a guess on Jones Jr. free throw percentage this season?
72.
Yeah, I was going to say 71.
And 71.3.
Maybe I had that in my head because I just looked at it. I didn't remember looking at it though. That's where we are at this point in this schedule.
And it looks like Kidd did take out PJ Washington. Green is in now.
And that's certainly with Green and Jones Jr. and Gafford in there. Not a ton of playmaking on the floor. OKC trying to do a lot of changing sides of the floor. Yeah, Dallas continues to switch everything here. And Chet's going to try to get into the post. Wants it back. J-Dub says, "No, we're gonna let Shay try here." And he sets up Dort for three. Big shot there. I mean, OKC, as much as you want to say they're doing things differently, they're actually just making their outside shots. Good job by J-Dub getting over that screen. Now there's two on the ball still on Irving. They throw it right to Jones. Oh, Shay just blocked it right out of his hands. Here's more transition. Oh, why did he go to that side?
Go to J-Dub.
Yeah, J-Dub for a dunk. Now Chet can't get by Gafford. It'll be Shay stepping through, has to kick out. Holmgren going to fire at that. I thought was maybe a little bit aggressive. Luka in transition. Dort cuts him off. Luka tough step back. And what a shot that was.
And I mean, Luka making threes. It's been a kind of a rare dynamic, but an important one in this series.
Dallas sticking with switching everything, but they got plenty of space. Wow, Shay just broke the ankles of Luka, but couldn't hit the shot. Now Luka is going to try to go right back at him. Drop coverage this time by Chet. And that was a great play by Dort. Coming over from the weak side to take away that open side pick and roll. They get J-Dub open in the corner. He misses, though, and OKC just can't convert on these fast breaks. I thought they had Chet going down the lane again there for a dunk. Irving getting into his first attack. Chet's in a drop again. Here's Irving, gets to his spot and scores. So Dallas starting to find their offensive rhythm, but it's really been OKC's offense these last couple of times that's allowed Dallas to get into semi-transition. Wow, way open side here. Here's J-Dub.
And Joe good job by the refs not biting that Josh Green flop.
Here's J-Dub again. Got space and left it short. Got the separation, but that's probably not, that one leg step back is probably not a great shot for him at this point. Dort gets screened off pretty well. Now Chet has to get out there late. Luka stepping back. Ooh. And that is a bad sign for OKC with Doncic hitting the three-pointer. Again, it seems Shay's going to try Jones Jr. Luka is lurking here. Shay still, he just beat Jones Jr. with that spin move so badly. That was beautiful. They want to involve Joe in pick and roll early, no advantage. Irving working on J-Dub, and the Tony Brothers special is called. He just loves calling fouls on contact on the perimeter. That is absolutely nothing.
And that is J-Dub's first foul. Still the only player with two is PJ Washington, who is out of the game.
Yeah, I've really liked how active Dort's been helping for OKC early, and Josh Giddey now in. That was a good closeout by Giddey. Green tries to go at him and scores on him. I mean, that wasn't...
You'll live with that shot.
Yeah, you will, but he also just has pure confidence he can get that off, and that makes it a higher percentage. Lively getting his first run here. Gafford stayed in a little bit longer than normal. Here's Dort off the dribble. And again, they're going with Will and Giddey together. Nice pass in the corner, though, by Giddey. No foul. Joe goes down. He's way behind now. Luka comes off the drag screen, looking for Lively. Help comes. Green, beautiful pass fake. And Lively tips it up, but Joe able to recover. Oh, look at Dort running the floor. Joe's going to pull up and hit. Wow, what an awkward shot. But Isaiah Joe able to hit one in transition. That was probably the worst look they've had in transition.
And we'll see how often this crew calls the now classic Derek Lively illegal screen where his legs are outside the cone of his body.
And that was awful from Lively. Just not a good shot. Like, he's got to do better than that against Giddey. Giddey looking for a backdoor cut, leaves it for Jay Will. OKC starting to cool off from downtown.
I wish Giddey would have taken one more dribble towards the basket there just to get Lively to commit a little bit more.
I agree. Irving, great defense by J-Dub. They'll rescreen to involve Giddey. Still no advantage. Now Luka's going to get a chance. Goes to the opposite corner. Green on the drive. Oh, stopped by Joe, but a foul. I didn't see much there.
I thought there was body contact. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe he got his forearm in front of him, trying to figure this out. Joe will make some plays there as the low man. I mean, what is there?
I think there's body contact that you'll see on the end. That arm.
I mean, he's going straight up. What do you want from the guy?
I don't think they would reverse this on a challenge. I agree with you. It shouldn't have been.
Did they call it on Giddey? Is that what happened? Did he like push him in the back or something? As Green misses the free throw.
They did call it on Giddey.
Okay. Yeah, Joe is not just your total wallflower shooter guy defensively. He'll make some plays, as now we're going to see Jaden Hardy into the game.
Another game 5 wrinkle that it looks like it's continuing, because just having somebody else who can handle the ball in the non-Luka minutes. Luka's on the bench now, so it's Kyrie and Hardy that are going to be running the show.
Yeah, OKC surviving the Giddey and Jay Will together minutes. And they're taking Shay out a little earlier here. Look at this lineup. Here's Giddey off the screen. Wallace popping out. Green stays with him. Wallace on the drive. And Lively bothered his floater. Wiggins picks up Hardy. Hardy on the beautiful pass to Lively. And that's what Hardy has been giving them, just in small doses, over Exum. He's found the centers. That's his third assist for a dunk to a center since he entered the rotation. Good denial by Hardy against Wiggins. They go weak side. Wallace on the attack. Tried to look underneath. Found Giddey instead. Stayed under control, but Giddey wasn't close with the three. Yeah, why did Philly get rid of Joe? As we're going to get Hardy off
I was surprised he
rim.
shot
I thought that was a pass.
Yeah, so did I.
Maybe he just decided to shoot it because it was clear it was taken away. Now they go double Kyrie with Luka off the floor. Jones, and no foul, and just goes out of bounds with 2.2 on the shot clock. It'll be OKC ball. I'm similarly flummoxed as Jason Kidd for how that was just nothing.
It seemed like there was sufficient contact. For Cribb's question of why did Philly get rid of Isaiah Joe, part of it is that Joe didn't shoot.
Just waved him.
Yeah, he didn't shoot nearly as well for Philly as he has in OKC. So
I'm not sure that's true. Actually.
It is. I have it up.
Okay. I mean, I think there was an understanding that he was a very good shooter.
Yeah, and another difference is so Joe. So he's 37% his rookie year, and then was 33%. Those are small samples because he wasn't always in the rotation for them. And then he's been over 40 both years with OKC. But also the other interesting thing with Joe, who I liked back in Philly, I thought they should have kept him, was he went from being totally inefficient, but like 40% 2-point finisher to over 50 in OKC. A lot of that is OKC having way better spacing. But, so Joe went from being like a 53% true shooting player to being a 63% 3-point true shooting player in OKC.
Yeah, but I can't remember whether they ended up keeping 14 or 15 guys that year. It might have been like a tax thing, trying to get flexibility, but ultimately they kept a lot of players who are a lot worse.
Mm-hmm. And I believe he was on a Morey special or something close to that, so he could have been cheap for them for years.
Yeah. The most, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The most honorable players.
I was thinking about guys who morally don't flop. Though that's only one.
I would say Drew almost never flops. Conley actually was a pretty big flopper on some of his drives. He would just do the feel contact and throw it up move. More back when he was in Memphis. by the time he got to Utah, he didn't really do that much anymore because he just wasn't on the ball as much. And yeah, I mean, Drew is a guy who almost never flops. I will give him that. Probably should flop more, honestly.
I remember Clay as being a guy who it's been a little bit different as he's gotten older, but I remember him like never flopping in his 20s.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten into it with guys a little bit. If you're just talking about kind of like a sportsmanship.
Sure. That's only like the flopping is only a part of this. What would it truly take for OKC to get Lauri Markkanen? We don't know. I knowing Danny Ainge, it would take a ton. Like that's the way Danny Ainge does things.
Do you think that they have enough? Like I mean, they don't have any like super premium picks going forward at this point.
Yeah, it would be a volume play unless they're willing to include.
And Utah has like the second highest volume of just kind of random picks anyway. So,
and I don't know. I mean, the other big thing would be if Ainge thinks Josh Giddey's good. And so we could potentially involve him in the deal. And I think Giddey would probably be involved in it either way.
Could they sign Gershon Yabusele and throw him into the deal?
Or like one of those like shooting guards that doesn't quite shoot but plays hard on defense that he drafted so many times on the Celtics?
Yes, Romeo Langford available.
Or wasn't there a Bell that he drafted that was kind of like that? There were a series of them. It's a true player type.
Shay back in after a brief rest. Now he kicks out. Jalen Williams going back to goal against Hardaway. Shay backs out, fires the three over Lively. Yeah, he got the late switch there and then was able to hit the jumper. Irving trying to get to that right hand. He fires it over the defense, bounces right to Shay with Lively in good rebounding position. Shay working into a position on Green, into the lane, goes to the fadeaway, and that's his office. But I thought in game 5, he missed that shot from there. He missed a bunch of those in the first half that were pretty good looks. Lively didn't want to come all the way over. So they just straight double team Kyrie. Hardy misses that three. Back to Kyrie. Good close up by Wiggins, but Kyrie likes going against Wiggins. Giddey goes to double team, and there's the fourth dunk set up by Jaden Hardy to one of the centers.
And again, they got the ball. They knew the double was coming. They got the ball to Kyrie fast and created the advantage early in the shot clock.
And I don't love doing all this double teaming with Giddey on the floor and Jalen Williams. Like they don't have the athleticism to fly around in this group. There's Shay getting to his spot. He's just so money from there. And because he had just hit the three over Lively, that time Lively closed out too aggressively and got beaten on the drive. Green flipping the angle of the screen to release Irving. Back to Green, corner. That's Hardaway, and he just airmailed it. That's what he's out there to do, but that was not a great shot in the end. Now Shay against Hardy, and he's going to get chucked on the sideline there.
But that is only the third team foul on Dallas. OKC has 4.
How do you think it's going so far?
I'm the OKC transition failures are lingering with me a little bit, but I think overall both teams have gotten reasonably good shots so far. Dallas more around the basket, OKC gotten some good shots.
Yeah, I mean both defenses I think are playing about the worst that they've played. Back screen for Shay. Now Wallace will pop out. They'll switch that action, re-screen. Chet trying to roll to the rim. Giddey is open off that. Chet tries to work inside for the offensive rebound where OKC has been relatively dormant, and he gets a loose ball foul.
And I have that as the 4th team foul on Dallas, but it looks they were lining up. Yeah, Chet Holmgren's going to the free throw line. Are they calling that a shooting? What?
Nope, no, they're in the bonus.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the
maybe the box score is late. Yeah, that happens.
So right there, Chet rolling to the rim, sucks in the defense. Giddey was open, missed the open three, but one of the better looks that they've had. And then also Chet happens to be there for the rebound.
Thank you, Tally. Second in the last 2 minutes. So team fouls was right. I just missed that.
There we go.
Thank you. And Holmgren making a three, getting to the free throw line, those are both elements that OKC is going to be happy with. And getting through his rest relatively unscathed is also important.
Yeah, if they're going to all this double teaming, I like that better with Chet on the floor. Lively looking to make a play against Chet, and that was foolish. Chet actually, that strip move worked that time, but pretty much any time Lively's tried to put it on the floor, it hasn't been great. Now Chet kicks out Dort, no hesitation, and that's off. Wallace went for the rebound and can't get it. Luka's looking to get transition here. He's got Hardaway in the corner, kicks out. Hardy on the drive, spins around Giddey, and throws it to no one. Lively does run it down. Almost got stolen. Still plenty of time on the clock here. They're frantic. Now they'll back it out. 5 to shoot. Hardy. Oh, that's not going to work against that guy. No, sir.
And I don't think OKC has enough time to get the 2 for 1.
Giddey goes down, rolling around on the ground, and he's going to get tied up here.
And we're going to get an all-Australian jump ball. I think more of those circumstances, I'm not saying this one specifically, should be a foul on the player who dives in second. There wasn't a ton of green Giddey contact on that dive, though. He missed the first time. Yeah, I'm actually fine with that one not being a foul, but most of the time it is.
Yeah, Giddey, he's out there in part to take advantage in transition. Now they're just going to double Luka at half court to Lively, kick to the corner. They tried to do that to prevent him from running the time down. Dallas is pretty familiar with that at this point. Hardy, he'll drive in, tries to finish on Chet, and he does right through him. What a finish.
Big finish by Jaden Hardy. Big second foul on Chet Holmgren. Generally, Holmgren has been pretty good on navigating fouls in this series, but worth keeping an eye on.
Didn't see where the foul is there, though. Yeah, he's just went straight up. I mean, and you're allowed to bring your arms down if you get hit in the chest, because that's just natural. Like if you get hit in the chest, your
arms are going to drop. And he took the contact right in the chest. Didn't look like he jumped A to B. Yeah, to me that should have been a no call. And
yeah, it's only the first on Chet, however.
It's the second.
Oh, excuse me. I would have actually considered a challenge here. Now, OKC's going to push it up. Williams fires from half court.
Oh!
Oh!
Wow!
So the trap works in the end with only 4.7 left. You thought they would be in difficulty, but Dallas just kind of backs off.
And I don't know what Jaden Hardy was. I guess maybe he thought J-Dub was going to take another dribble or two, but he gave him some space there, and great recognition by J-Dub, seeing that Hardy was still trailing, just setting his feet at the half-court line and taking it.
I think OKC is going to win this game.
Interesting. I mean, I
don't think it's going to be a blowout. Being up 7 helps, of course, but I think their offense is just looking pretty good now. Maybe with Dallas has been doing a lot of the switching. I don't think that's really been working that great. Now, if they change things up, maybe it's a little bit different. Dallas is still kind of messing up their transition game. The Chet foul trouble too could be an issue.
And we've already seen Shay miss a couple minutes, if memory serves. So maybe he'll set a shorter portion of the second that he has.
Yeah, it seemed like they're kind of just like things were going okay, so they tried to just get him a rest when they could.
Do you think J-Dub can become the pull-up three-point shooter that OKC needs in time? I think it's definitely possible. His growth as a three-point shooter overall has been very encouraging. The mechanics aren't always the same. So, yes, potentially. But, you want to probably have somebody else within the pipeline. And the nice thing for Oklahoma City is they don't have to start that other guy. They can just be, you can try to have somebody who's working on that game, somebody in your 15-man roster who has that potential.
Yeah, it does seem to me, though, that they need more diversity to their offensive game. Some kind of posting up, particularly because they don't have anyone who can post up even against a mismatch. Right? You don't necessarily need like a guy you just throw it to in the post against whoever's guarding him. But if they're going to switch stuff having someone who can attack in the post.
I've actually brought that up as a theory with OKC, that having their second big be a more anomalous one. So you probably, if they have the luxury, because they still have Jay Will under contract. So like the idea of drafting like Zach Edey and just having a completely different theory in the non-Chet lineups as a change of pace. But I understand that that's not their MO as an organization. Note from eighth, I'm going to pronounce it that way. The OKC 5 of 12 from three, Dallas 2 of 6, and the attempts on that are pretty significant too. Dallas only generated, I think, it was 3 corner threes. It was 2 corner threes in the first quarter. Yeah, so there are definitely things that can kind of regress to the mean and make this better. But I think OKC's generally, they've generated better shots other than those the dunks from Hardy and stuff. And like Luka's threes were both pretty hard and they went in, and that's important, but they weren't like the best looks in the world. They weren't anything else. So it's like, and that's 2 of their 6.
Well, here's another thing too. Only 2 corner 3 attempts by Dallas in the first quarter, when they are being giving up. OKC has been giving up like 20 a game of late, and OKC got 4.
Mm-hmm. And Lou Dort, I think, had 1 or 2. He had at least had 2 of the attempts. I can't remember where his makes came from.
Here's Luka getting Dort on his back. Dort tried to flop down. Jones Jr. is wide open, but can't make him pay. Shay with his first attempt, and he's going to get fouled by Jones Jr., another Tony Brothers special on the call.
And foul. There are more starters on the floor, but fouls early in the second and fourth can sometimes lead to stuff later in the quarter when the starters come back in. Kenrich Williams.
You know what's shocking to me is that they haven't played basically a single minute in this series with no center on the floor. But then they're playing Kenrich at the 4 at the moment. Kenrich handing back to Joe. Joe fires it. He got blocked from behind. Who was that? Was that Hardaway who got him?
Yes, it was.
Kenrich trying to guard Luka. Luka has a lot of confidence against him, and he drains it immediately.
Yeah, Williams, it doesn't seem like he's phasing Luka. And there is that idea. I mean, we've talked about it a lot with Brunson and Nembhard, where if the guy knows he can get a shot, it doesn't really matter that much.
Shay trapped on the baseline, has to get it to Kenrich. Now they move it. That was quite the closeout from Gafford, and Williams almost missed that layup, but he is an excellent rebounder and is able to give OKC back a 7-point lead. Here's Luka against Dort, kicks it out. Joe, good closeout on Hardaway, and Hardaway fought it up. I thought Joe was even going to block that. I'd like to see OKC get into the pick and pop game here with Joe going at Hardaway. Here's Shay, rejects the screen, tries to draw the foul, can't do it. And then Luka just lost the ball. He thought he got fouled in some fashion. I didn't see anyone else really around there, but maybe I just missed it.
There was someone around, but I didn't see much contact there. Let's take a look.
Yeah, no, it's not a foul. And then Luka, I guess, did Shay touch him or something? So it's technical on Doncic. Yeah, Luka was. I didn't see him particularly demonstrative there. And we never really got a good look at whether he got fouled or not. But of course, that's irrelevant.
There wasn't much contact there.
I mean, certainly he didn't get pushed hard enough to fall down like that. Joe coming off the screen. They switch that late up top to Chet. He's going to try to drive, and you just should never put it on the floor from there, honestly. It never works. I thought Shay traveled. Here's Dort's 3-pointer. Air ball. Their late clock. Kenrich Williams better get it up. Shay better get it up. And a foul. Oh, what a killer foul.
And
Luka wants to review that it happened after time had expired. I don't think it did.
And that was called on Derek Jones Jr. That's his second. Second isn't that important, but get you close.
So is this a shooting foul? No.
No.
Now it's Washington guarding Chet. Dallas going back to switching everything. Shay on the tough fadeaway. Good rebound by Chet, keeping it alive, and will stay here. OKC has been effective on the offensive glass, in part, I would say, due to all this switching that Dallas is doing. And that's a good work by Chet against Jones Jr. to get in, or at least inside enough position.
It's now been almost a minute since Dallas had real control of the ball in this game.
Yeah, Wallace is in. And who's he going to replace here? Couldn't see who it was. Oh, yeah. They tried to do that little sneaky throw it to the weak side corner thing, and Luka was all over it, knocked it out of bounds. When I saw Dort set up there, I'm like, are they going to try to throw it to him?
Wallace came in for Joe, by the way.
Okay. Now Shay goes into the double team. Oh, he stepped through beautifully, and no rim protection there for Dallas. Chet trying to come over in the strong side zone with Irving working against Wallace, and he throws it away. Dallas continuing to turn the ball over on some uncharacteristic plays. Yeah, so Gafford is there, but Shay just steps right past him on a beautiful move.
Chance to go up double digits here.
Shay wants Gafford again, changes speeds, goes right in, and he's going to get tripped and fouled. I don't think the switching is working that well. I'm not sure why they're going to that, honestly. Do they just feel like they can't contain in like a normal pick and roll defense? Is it that they feel they can't put Gafford on, say Kenrich Williams?
So interestingly, they called that on PJ Washington. I thought there was plenty of contact from Derek Jones Jr. as well, and that's Washington's third. It would have been Jones's third if it had been him.
Yeah, and Dallas replacing Washington with Green as Shay misses the first free throw. Replacing Washington with Green or having to leave Jones Jr. on the floor a little bit longer or going with Hardaway. All of those guys have compromises that Washington doesn't require on one end of the floor or the other.
Yeah, he has been very valuable for them. And while I've never been the biggest PJ Washington fan, I do appreciate what he brings to the Mavericks.
And he's just improved defensively a lot since his Charlotte days.
And they're not playing him at center.
OKC lead. Kyrie has still been very quiet. Williams switching on to him. Shay going to go double team. Kyrie tries to get out of it. Probably should have passed it earlier. Now Green will have to attack. He goes to the corner. That was the right pass. Jones is open, but he can't make him pay.
Dallas 2 of 8 from 3.
OKC looking to push it to double digits. Yeah, Luka has the only 2 threes for the Mavs. Shay getting space on Green. He's got a lot of confidence against him. Especially at this point in the series, right? Like you saw the way Luka saw Kenrich Williams on him and just like, yeah, I'm just going to get to my spot and shoot over him. That's exactly what Shay just did to Josh Green, and Shay has been fantastic so far.
13 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, and that's also the 4th team foul on Dallas. So OKC is shooting the remaining 8:30 of this quarter. Sorry, 8:43.
Another missed free throw for Shay. He's been a little less reliable than normal in this series. He can't believe it. He just puts his hands to his head as he's running down. Here's the immediate double team again with Luka out. They really want to try these double teams. Now Gafford out of control. Oh, and that's the third on Chet. And Gafford was totally out of control. That's going to really be a problem for OKC. They're playing extremely well right now. And I mean, Chet does have the hand on his back. Like probably needed to be a little bit more judicious, though. And I thought the one that if they were going to challenge one, the one they should have challenged was
the one on Hardy.
Yeah, the one right at the end of the quarter. Gafford
another missed free throw.
And And that one probably not worth it. Oh, so this is interesting now. They are going to go Kenrich at center, bringing in Josh Giddey. I think maybe they can get away with this for now with
No,
no
Jalen Williams
Washington.
is in too.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
with no Washington and no Luka, and Luka's back too. So yeah, I was gonna say I think Jason Kidd saw the way they're double teaming Irving and not really able to take advantage.
so it's Wallace, Shay, Dort, Giddey, Jay Will out there.
Yeah, and I still don't understand why Daigneault has to get Josh Giddey in the game the moment he gets Jay Will in too. Here's Shay setting up Dort in the corner. They really should change sides of the floor there once they had him in rotation, but Shay's going to try Luka. They don't double team yet. Dort just gets it sent back.
And that's a circumstance where a pump fake might have worked well to get Gafford in the air. I'm not encouraging the pump fake and trying to get a 3-shot foul, but I mean, Gafford could have blocked that with his wrist. Instead, he gets it with his finger.
Yeah, and I thought OKC failed there by not changing sides of the floor. Dort moving off the ball. He'll have to fire it up off the glass. Not close. Oh, but OKC has it. Williams and Shay just wants to. Nobody's cutting, but Jay Will is still wide open. Another miss. Green tips it out, but right to his countryman. Wallace getting it back to Shay now. He'll set the screen. They're going to switch lively onto Shay.
Oh, they should just
boxes.
Oh, they shouldn't have switched. Set the second screen.
I agree. Shay stepping back. Now Irving going right by Giddey like he's not even there and finishes on Shay. And that's just the compromise you make with Josh Giddey, that he just is going to be completely useless in a situation like that. Now Wallace will try. Beautiful cut. Dort, though, I think it might have got disrupted by Green. Couldn't handle it. Now Luka cut off nicely by Wallace. Luka on another attack. Dort was trying to run him down from behind, but couldn't get it in the end.
And so what was a double-digit lead for OKC down to 6, and I think we're getting a Mark Daigneault timeout.
Would you consider getting back to Chet at some point before the half ends?
Yes, I would. But you want to give him a couple minutes, kind of give him maybe more of like a normal rest and then bring him back. And Dallas has still only generated 4 corner threes, though that is they've generated at twice as the amount they did in the first quarter already in the second, but 2 is not that many. And one of them was the first play of the second quarter.
How's Luka looking physically? Yeah, I mean, I think we haven't seen him have any of those episodes where he's just like grabbing at his knee.
I think he's been okay. I mean, and I mean, he's hit a couple of threes, though they weren't like dominant. So Bulldog saying the edge of trades where you can identify someone on a bad team that can play defense on a good team. That if you can pull it off, but there are a lot of those players who just aren't that good. They are you're rolling some dice. And so far, Dallas, I mean, PJ did get smoked by James Harden in game 4 of that series down the stretch, but generally he has been better defensively than he was in Charlotte. And so you could find those circumstances, but a lot of times you're not actually betting that low on those players. Like Dallas gave up a fair amount for PJ Washington. But yeah, I mean, there were years where it was like it's like instead of getting somebody on the Spurs, like or now it'd probably be Miami, instead of getting Gabe Vincent or Max Strus, you go after somebody like Malik Monk, who incidentally with the Hornets, or I mean, the first time he got kind of bounced around, where it's like, oh, maybe he didn't have a chance to maximize himself.
Basically, anyone who looks like they have the slightest amount of talent on the Hornets.
It's not the worst bet.
Just go after.
And
the Boris Diaw principle.
We got asked a question earlier about Jared Allen on OKC, and I personally do not like that fit. Jared Allen is a wonderful basketball player, but what makes Oklahoma City special is that they were able to get both spacing and rim protection at the 5. If you get Jared Allen, you compromise on one of those two things when you don't need to. I mean, you and I both had Chet Holmgren in our top 5 for Defensive Player of the Year, and as a rookie, and he's only going to improve from here. So that's not where you use your resources. You use your resources to get players who can defend on the perimeter, who can shoot, who can create advantages one-on-one. They don't need Jared Allen.
Well, if you played him and Chet together, it would be a pretty monster defensive team. I do think there may be a moment here where, particularly in this time period when Chet and J-Dub are on the rookie deals, that they should just try to get the most talented player that they can in trade over these next 2 years and just make it work, because they have this crazy embarrassment of riches from an asset standpoint.
They do, and they could do that right now without having to pay the tax on it or anything else. And so,
Yeah.
they haven't. You and I were talking about that in the context of Paul George like a week ago. It's like, yeah, they could make that. I mean, you have to have that guy say yes, but it's very possible.
J-Dub is back in, guarded by Irving. Try to get some screening action here for Joe. And Dallas all over it. Beautiful switching. But no! He goes through, then he airmails the layup. I thought he should have dunked that one. I think Jones Jr. was the one who disrupted it.
It is.
Uh-oh. Speaking of disruption, he disrupted the rim on that dunk. Since Chet's third foul, OKC hasn't scored. Shay's getting a break here. Here's Williams on the drive. He misses the layup. There's some contact there.
But I thought that was J-Dub leaning into the contact. I'm happy they didn't call it.
And Chet is at the table, and Luka loses it out of bounds. We're going to stay here. Yeah, Wallace there. That's really probably his fault for not backing up. They're triple teaming Luka, but they failed to communicate in transition, and that's how you end up with that. Doncic gets it in. Shay trying to topside first Kyrie, now Luka, forcing Luka towards the baseline. Luka creates the space on the step back. No, he just blocked by Shay. Great defense. Shay's working to his spot. Just came back in. Tipped by Holmgren, but it'll be an offensive basket interference.
If Holmgren touched that, it would be interference. I didn't, but we didn't have the angle to see.
I think he did.
He probably did. He's not fighting it.
Yeah, yep. I mean, it was coming off anyway, so no harm. OKC has not scored since Chet went out the first time, and now he's back. They want to involve him in pick and roll. Drop coverage for Chet. And that is going to be a foul on Dort going over the Lively screen. Lively has gotten the legs pretty wide most of the way. That's, I think, what Dort is saying there. Yeah, that's an offensive foul. His legs are outside the cone of his body. That is absolutely an offensive foul. Green getting open off the screening action, and he drains it. One of the more difficult threes that the Mavs have had, and this is a 10-0 run. Shay on the attack, goes to the reverse and ends it. And OKC's offense hasn't been that bad. They got a couple of layups that they just missed during that period.
They did. And that Dallas 3, that was the first one made by somebody not Luka Doncic. They're 3 of 10.
Hardy working against J-Dub, not an advantage matchup. Now Jones going to try Shay, also not an advantage matchup, but he goes right through him. And Chet was a little late coming over, but I think he felt like Shay had him handled. He did not. Back to Chet. His 3 is well short, but they are shooting it with no hesitation. Dallas looking to take a lead here. Step up screen set. Oh, Lively got hit in the balls, and that's going to be a foul on Dort. That's his third.
And OKC 0 for 6 from 3 in this quarter. So we've seen beyond a regression to the mean for them. Both teams shooting around 30% from long range so far.
I don't think this is going to get tossed. I mean, we'll have to see the replay if it's like truly intentional. And that's pretty direct.
It doesn't seem like the severity of contact was that high. It's not like he swung. I think they'll probably give him a flagrant one.
one would think. It's pretty hard to not be. And that's he seemed almost unaware that he had done it, but I'm not sure how. But more importantly, 3 on him, 3 on Holmgren. But yeah, this is really have not been.
Oh,
That's surprising to me. I would have thought that
I
would
mean,
be a flagrant. That was
I'm happy it's a common foul and not a flagrant 2, but a flagrant 1 would have been okay.
that was a pretty direct shot there. I realized he wasn't trying to do it,
Yeah,
but
it's but what I'm saying is my number 2 outcome is better than my number 3 outcome. Tossing him for that would have been terrible.
so Dallas looking to take their, I think, first lead of the game. Luka, they go under on him. He'll fire from way out. Wow. He got the legs into that one.
Yeah, and Luka's now 3 of 4 from 3.
Now Shay on the drive. Fakes the pass. Blocking foul is called on Doncic.
And it didn't look like he took that in his chest. I also he might have been in the restricted area. He's like, but I was standing still.
And this is just a read by Doncic to see that he goes under and he's going to take it. But that is out there considering the fact that he hasn't been shooting the through well. I think the fact that he's got his confidence back from there is important. And yeah, Doncic, too late there for sure.
And let me see if I'm right on this. Kid is challenging this. Oh, yeah. I don't like this challenge. He went like, especially like this. If this gets reversed, it is such a huge indictment of the concept of the snapshot. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander takes off, and Luka like isn't even close to being in position at that point.
Yeah.
And so if you're calling it, that basically you're expanding the firm up concept beyond what is reasonable and like completely ignoring that. So
yeah, because I mean his body is still moving forward. It would appear. I'd like to get another look at it. I will admit I wasn't looking at it as close as I should have the first time because I didn't think it was going to get challenged. I was like, in real time, it looked obvious to me that it was a blocking foul. But
and in terms of the significance for the game, this is Luka's first foul.
Oh man, the Sun is just receiving has received so many challenges during these playoffs. I think fortunately it's large enough to absorb them all. So keep firing.
And now Dallas is out of challenges for the remainder of the game.
I guess they got the first one. Yes, they challenged twice here in the first half. The first one, if you're joining us late, was a kick out by Dort on a made 3 that was called an offensive foul, which was a terrible call. And it was a successful challenge to take away the free throw, but it did not get overturned into an offensive foul. That challenge I liked because you had such a high upside and you're going to get at least 1 point out of it, probably, to take away the foul and possibly get 4 out of it.
Sorry, I'm taking some notes.
Let's see here. This might be the lowest ever value gained from 2 challenges in 1 game.
Well, if they had called that offensive foul on, if they had reversed the second one, then it would have been a foul on Shai. But Shai's not a high foul player in the first place, so like that one would have been.
Yeah, I mean, so they got about 0.75 points of value. I think no, it's probably got to be lower than that. Like there are definitely times when there's just been like an out of bounds that got challenged on the first one or something.
Well, I mean, there have been challenges that have been successful and gone negatively for the successfully challenging team. So there are definitely some that could be, or even.
What would I have Lively focus on during the offseason? Post defense. Let's see it here. Yeah, I mean, he's not even like he
Yeah.
doesn't even get. He's
That
not
would have
really in
been
his path,
that would have
and
been
he's
a
not set. It's
that would
just
have been a
a
terrible reversal.
I mean, that's just like a. I mean, maybe Jason Kidd just saw he's been kind of on tilt from the refs and acquiesced to the challenge just to like refocus him. But yeah, that was so not close.
And for a couple people have mentioned it. Yes, my shirt is 100% a Scrubs reference.
Another missed free throw for Shay.
That's weird. It's already his third missed free throw of this game. He's 3 for 5. Or sorry, 2 for 5. 3 for 6.
3 for 6. Dallas playing with the lead for the first time, and with Dort out, we're going to get extended minutes of J-Dub on Luka to start with here. Luka goes into 2 guys, and great job by Joe stepping up from the weak side. Those Thunder low men, Joe and Gilgeous-Alexander, those are probably the guys that they kind of hide the most defensively, but those guys also fulfill their responsibilities much better than the usual guys who are going to have to hide. And Luka's still with one technical foul. It's going to be a struggle for him. Tried to get Joe coming off a screen, but then Shay into the post, well defended. But Chet's wide open for 3, and he can't make it again. He's hit his first one, but has not been close on these since then. Irving cut off nicely by Wallace. Goes to the lefty floater, tipped out by Shay. Thunder have it. Shay going at Irving. Gets past him into the lane. Underneath Chet, he'll dunk it. That's the advantage of having Chet in the dunker spot rather than someone who can't
dunk.
Yeah, exactly. Wallace, good defense again on Irving. Chet trying to come over. And Joe gets the steal. Throw ahead to J-Dub, and he's going to dunk it easily. OKC getting back into this via Dallas turnovers now.
Yeah, it was the reverse of the dynamic that we saw. I think that was in game 4 when Dallas was getting all those turnovers at the end of the second.
Give it back to Irving. Instead, Luka's going to try to drive, and he traveled. He tried to step through and draw a foul, and Doncic is really going to be losing it now. He's had a number of calls go against him here. I don't think any of them were necessarily inaccurate. Yeah, that left foot was his pivot foot, and he stepped twice with it. Same play they just ran. Joe popping out. Here's Chet on the roll. Steps around Luka. Open 3. Wallace drains it. I like that play. I would keep running that play until they stop it.
It generated a couple of good looks on the same play.
Chet up and pick and roll defense. Hardy throwing it up. Man, he is so good with those alley-oop passes. Shay into the lane. Stood up by Green. Wallace cutting into nowhere. Shay shoots over him and scores.
And interestingly, Chet was relocating above the break there. He started in the corner, was going up, and I think it was to change the angle that Gafford would have to help from.
Here's Gafford on the drive. He gets it knocked away. More OKC transition. J-Dub goes in. Joe's corner 3. Yes.
And after missing all of their threes in the second quarter, that's a big one for OKC. I think they're now 1 for 8.
Yeah, what a run by OKC after Dallas had taken the lead. Doncic being bothered by J-Dub. J-Dub won't let him get that shot off. He wanted to shoot it. Here's Hardy, a big 3. They need it and get it. Hardy has actually been a pretty decent spot-up shooter in his career. I thought OKC overhelped a little bit there. Here's Shay, rejects the screen, kicks out Wallace. Wallace on the drive. Out to Shay, backs up. His 3-pointer. Yes, sir. 3 straight corner threes by OKC. And clearly, Mark Daigneault has told them, you guys got to be aggressive from 3. Shay would not normally have reacted that way, I don't think. Now they try to go after Joe. J-Dub gets up in the air, forces the pass over him. Nice flare screen set by Gafford, but Hardy can't make it 2 in a row. Here's Chet on the push. Shay's a little tired. Chet's going to go right at Gafford, and he scored. Wow, I did not like that decision, but OKC up 11 now.
That seemed dicey, a little bit dicey from Chet, but the grab and go after a good box out worked out well.
They try to get Luka guarded by Wallace. Luka, oh, that was a very weak call.
What the hell?
On
What did
the
they
pass
call
up.
there?
That was almost like a feel sorry for the guy play. Like Wallace is right there. He passes off. That is a horrendous
Are
call
they
as far
maybe
as I
going to
can
talk?
tell. So let's see it here. I mean, where is the foul there on that play? That's absurd. And I mean, he gets him in the knee a little bit, but here's the double on Doncic. He gets off the ball. Green underneath. Gafford has blown a couple here. Shea disrupted him again. Gafford has to shoot the corner three, and he airballs it. Shot clock violation. OKC has really done pretty well with these double teams. These support guys for the Mavs have been flubbing a lot of chances. The turnover rate now for the Mavs is pretty absurd. They've turned it over 11 times. 2-for-1 time for OKC. They want to get Irving on Shea. Here's Williams for three. That's good. A fourth straight corner three for OKC, and they are up by 14 right now.
And Dallas doesn't have enough time here to get the 2-for-1. And smart by Daigneault to have Chet Holmgren off the floor here. I get that, not trying to get a fourth on the last possession. This one, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well, and also it was a 2-for-1 offensively.
Yeah.
Irving coming off the screen. Wallace stays with him. Jay Will can back up. Irving beats him now. Missed the layup. Tip no. Gafford working inside, and he's clubbed. I think they're going to get Wallace on this one.
Yeah, it could be Wallace. Could be Jay Will. Couple of guys fouled him there. But in terms of the consequences for OKC, you wish you had gotten the defensive rebound, but you have a inconsistent free throw shooter going to the line, and you still get the last shot of the half.
Yeah, I assume that foul was on Jay Will.
It was on Cason Wallace.
Okay. Jay Will certainly fouled him first, but
there were like 4 fouls on that play.
Gafford missing the free throw as Dallas continues to struggle. To me, the bigger thing, though, Danny, is OKC's offense looks fantastic.
Especially when they've been able to get downhill and do something in transition. I mean, that's been your... Dallas is turning it over now on 26% of their possessions in the first half.
Well, and just like getting all these corner three looks, too. I mean, they're shooting very well on them. But they've got 9 corner threes in this half, and they've made 5 of them. So Shea is they're going to try to involve Josh Green in the screening action here with Joe. Joe pops out. Shea gets it back to him. Joe eluding Jones Jr. and drains another 3.
And that's OKC's second big 3 at the end of a quarter. That was
Doncic won't get it off, and the Dallas Mavericks have a lot of work to do if they want to avoid a Game 7. OKC, a 24-6 run looked like it was getting away from them. And Dallas in big difficulty right now. We'll be back for the second half. All right, so to me, Danny, the way Dallas needs to get back into this is via their defense.
Sure.
Because I think the Thunder, they got to get some transition. I think that Dallas could be a little bit better offensively with the way that OKC is double teaming and like guys like Gafford and Lively and Jones Jr. finishing plays a little bit better, either making threes or finishing around the basket. But I also think there's only so much better they can get there. And Dallas really has bothered OKC a ton throughout this series. And OKC is hitting some threes, but they are getting really good looks from the corners, which they hadn't been. And also, like in the half court, I think largely I've been very pleased with the way they defended. And I'm part of the reason for that is that now they've got their spacing figured out and they're actually forcing the center to guard a shooter. Dallas is doing a lot of switching, and that hasn't really worked very well. Luka trying to start with a live dribble. They're going to bring Irving off the screen. Joe just switches onto him. Interesting. Irving going to work on him. Jones Jr. with help off the corner, and he makes that. That's what they need to start off with. You could see that when Irving started his move, the play was go double off Jones Jr., set him up easily.
And OKC generated 9 corner threes in the first half. It's more than
Chet should fall down setting some of these screens. These guys are kind of going right through them. Here's J-Dub on the drive. Shay finding Chet on a beautiful cut past Washington on the baseline. Again, I'm really impressed with the way OKC has found things offensively through personnel. As now they're trying to go after Joe. Jones Jr., man, he's been fantastic finishing. He went right at Chet, and Chet maybe a little less aggressive with the 3 fouls.
Yeah, Holmgren has 3, Dort has 3, PJ Washington has 3.
Shay going at Irving. Double team. Cut, easy layup. Way too easy. I mean, they are slicing up Dallas right now. And I expected this to be a little bit more what would take place in this series. Great contest from behind, but Gafford got the tip over Joe.
Kyrie draws the Holmgren help, and that leaves Gafford open on the glass. But Dallas is going to have to get some stops here to cut this lead.
Yeah, here's the switch. Shay looking to get to his spot. Right over Gafford, and it rims out.
That's
good
a tough
box out.
shot.
I thought that was okay. I think that's a good shot for him, to me, personally. Here's Luka stepping through. Jones, another 3, makes 2 in a row. So it's down to 10 already now with less than 2 minutes gone by. But I think OKC's offense looks fine here. I wouldn't be too worried. Now Shay, stop and start, turned right back into Luka as Dort cut into him on a Caspi cut. Good job by J-Dub getting the ball out of that corner. That's a tough catch going to his left, and he drains it. That was really hard. He's going to his right, has to reach back, grab the ball, and then in stride finish it. Now they go under on PJ Washington. He fires a 3. Good inside position by J-Dub. Gafford's behind the play. Chet running the floor. Here's J-Dub going right into Jones Jr., who just hacks him.
And I believe that's Derek Jones Jr.'s 3rd. It is.
Yeah, but this play all starts. We're showing the end of it here. You saw Shay kind of get stuck, almost turned it over, throw it to J-Dub, and J-Dub, instead of being like, all right, I'm going to go one-on-one now, he just throws it to the opposite side. He just gets the defense in rotation, and then Joe's able to get a drive and set him right back up for the 3. Yeah, J-Dub finally showing up as a second on-ball guy. Well, the reason he's able to do that is that the center isn't just hanging out under the basket on every possession. Now he can get there and finish. So nice job here. 5-0 by OKC, restoring some order. Irving gets separation, but goes right into Chet, traps the box, and forces the turnover.
And Dallas turnovers were a huge part of that first half, 26% of their possessions.
Here's Shay accelerating, guarded by Lively. He'll back it out. Now along the baseline, tries to get him in the air. Dort trying to cut through. Oh, beautiful left-handed pass. Doncic actually stays there. Then he shuts down Joe. Now it'll have to be J-Dub on the attack. Oh, yes, what a pass up to Chet.
And I would say Dallas's first 15 seconds of defense on most of these possessions has been pretty good. It's just that they haven't been able to get it all the way closed out.
Lively looking to hand off to Irving. Irving gets a little separation. Finally, Irving blows by Chet there.
Interesting. What was Chet playing the pass there? Like he made a gamble, but I'm not sure what the gamble was.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just didn't realize that the guy was open behind her, or the defender was going to be there behind her. Now they trap Shay, and Chet beats that with a nice little short ranger. And OKC now have extended the lead by 1.
14 points in less than 4 minutes for the Thunder.
Doncic going at Chet, stopped from behind by Dort, but a foul, and he somehow readjusts and finished it. I thought Dort was going to block that for sure, and Luka somehow got it up there and drew his 4th. Like, Dort has him perfectly lined up there, and Doncic somehow felt that. What a double pump that is. That was absolutely incredible. Yeah, Luka, he's been extremely efficient when he's been able to get a shot off, as now they don't guard in transition, and we're going to get a foul. Could that be a transition take foul?
I think it should be. I don't think that's the way the NBA has called it this year. But to me, that is an intentional foul to stop a fast break. That is what it is.
Yeah, that's, I mean, now he's not pushing the ball up court necessarily. Yeah, so now Dallas has, I think they're going zone here to try to get the rim protection working a little better. They set the screen, Chet rolls, Shay blow by. That's a tough shot though, and they had the rim protection there. So let's see if they're going to stick to this zone, I bet, until OKC scores on it. Doncic, offensive foul. Tony Brothers
right arm
with the call there. And that's got to be a delay of game on Luka.
And that's Luka's 3rd.
Yeah, Doncic, of course, has a technical already. And, yeah, I mean, the way it's been called in this series, that flop probably should not have profited.
To me, that was an embellishment. There was contact, but it was insufficient for the response that Dort made.
Wallace almost turned it over, did turn it over. Williams wasn't ready. They throw it ahead. Jones Jr. stopped from behind. Wallace with the block.
That was
still live, though. Here's a 3 for Irving. And Irving, although he's been dead cold, hits that one 6 in a row for Dallas now. Back in the zone. Into the corner, Wallace. He'll drive it. Under control, but Doncic got his hand on the pass. Wallace trying to run him down. Should have just picked him up. Instead, Doncic fires the 3, and 3 threes in a row. One of them the old-fashioned way, has it down to 8.
And Holmgren off the floor getting an early rest.
Into the corner, Wallace's 3. They need it. I think Lively might have even gotten a piece there. Doncic picked up by Shay, gets past him. Jay Will trying to come over, and a clear trip. And Doncic will have a chance to cut into the lead even further as the under 7 timeout is here. And interested to see whether Daigneault's going to come back with Chet again pretty quickly.
Yeah, and Holmgren does have his 3 fouls, but he's been better than Jay Will in this game.
Yeah, quite a bit of yo-yoing here just at the start of the quarter. It got down to 10. Then back up to 17. Now it's down to 8 with Doncic looking for more. Yeah, big question. This timeout will be useful for OKC to talk about how they want to attack this zone. I do think just like Dallas doesn't play a ton of zone. So just starting on one side, swing it around the horn, you should be able to get some open corner 3s. But Wallace, he's gotten a 3 blocked and has thrown it away when he tried to drive from that corner.
Nate, have we seen Mike Conley's injury described as a soleus strain before? Because
that was what the injury report was.
That was what it was. Okay.
For Game 6. It was not called that before he missed Game 5.
Okay. So Dion asked if you had to bet, do you think OG plays tomorrow? I don't think he should. I don't think he'll be effective. Hamstrings are tough, and like trying to work back faster generally doesn't go very well. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to gut it out.
I would be extremely surprised if he were able to play effectively.
Yeah. So
now, could he get out there enough to like help them slightly? Maybe. Certainly, let's put it this way. This is not a normal timeline for this kind of injury.
Correct. And then we got a question about like Dallas finishing better at the rim when Chet's on the floor. Part of it is like they've found some stuff that happened in game 4 as well, and a little bit in game 5. Or actually it was maybe more game 5 than game 4. But a lot of the success that they've had have been more those like passes where he's on the floor, but they're not the plays Holmgren is actively contesting. Other than Derek Jones Jr., there haven't been as many of those. They found some pockets, and yeah, Dallas's turnover rates dropped a little bit in this third quarter, and getting that run was important. And like I thought that Dallas would have at least one more run them. I don't think this is like the end of it for them, but they've been playing well.
See if we can take a few from YouTube here. Coach ranking should be postseason. Opinion of the coaches has changed significantly in these playoffs. Yeah, we just don't really have time to do it then. It's just the reason we do it at the time. And also it's same reason as we do top 10 players in the NBA before the playoffs. It's a lot more useful or fun as a prediction, and then you see what changes.
Yeah, and also like it's true for coaches, but it's also true for players that you really run into recency bias, and you run into problems in terms of it being so long since you've actually seen half the league do anything. And so it's like, okay, we're going to evaluate player X, we're going to evaluate coach X, and they've done nothing for 2.5 months. Like that's not necessarily the best there.
Fair.
No, people always talk about that with player rankings. It's like, oh no, there are flaws both ways, and we're comfortable with the flaws going one direction. I think they're clearly superior that way.
Yeah, so Chet is not going to return.
And I believe this is his 5th free throw. Luka has been hitting. He hasn't missed one yet in this game, though. Of course, that was big previously.
Yeah, I mean, an ultra efficient 23 points on 10 shooting possessions, 4 of 5 from downtown. Yeah, so this 11-0 run in less than 2 minutes. J-Dub, tough jumper going to his right. That's not his preferred way. And again, the zone, they've got the center back towards the rim. Doncic tried to sneak it in, and J-Dub was all over it. And that surely will be a transition take foul. No? Daignault's got the arms out. This is a fantastic play by Jalen Williams. Because I thought Doncic fooled me with that fake. I thought he was going to the weak side corner. He tried to slip it in, and Williams was not fooled. Here's Shay on the drive. Over Washington, who stayed with him. They can't get to the basket now. Irving, wow, how did he stop on a dime? He looked like he was totally out of control. His feet slid out from under him. OKC hasn't scored in seemingly forever, but Dallas is scoring on every possession. Here's Joe off the flare screen. He gets into the lane. Step up by Jones. Here's a 3 from Wallace. That misses, tipped out, and that was a great play by Jay Will. Jay Will fakes the 3, MJ style. They throw it to the weak side. Here's Shay on the attack. He's fouled. No. Excuse me. I thought I heard a whistle. It did not. Dallas can close to 1 possession. Irving against J-Dub. Goes left. Into the lane. Shay got the steal again. It's loose on the ground. And jump ball is called. Again, I didn't really see how
how did Jay
guy?
Will get enough ball to
who's the
get the
second
jump
guy
ball
who
here?
had it there? I mean, I guess you don't want guys grab. Look at how did you see how he stopped right there? That actually might technically have been a travel, the way that left foot slid. But
I have no idea how he got enough stability on that left foot to be able to take off. That's wild.
All right, big jump ball here. And the zone has completely changed the game. And nice job by Williams winning the tip. Let's see if they can get some semi-transition. Wiggins is in. Shay is actually on a rest right now. Dort along the baseline finds Wiggins, and he's fouled.
And that was another really nice cut for OKC. That was
No,
the thing.
It just went out of bounds. Excuse me.
I thought that was.
I can't hear the whistle. But the rim protection is back for Dallas all of a sudden. Rescreen here. Finding Lively on the roll. Williams gets back underneath him. He'll try to work with Irving now. Irving forced left. That's the way they want him to go. Missed it. Tipped out. Fresh 14. Doncic into the lane. No look, but Lively wasn't ready. And Dort
stepped out again.
Yeah, he stepped on the line. This is ballsy here by Mark Daigneault with Shay on the bench right now. Yeah, Lively just was not ready. That pass was maybe a little further away from the rim than it should have been. But yeah, no Chet and no Shay. Daigneault wants these guys to have the energy at the end, but this is certainly not what you want to be resting. Here's Irving going right. Too long. That could have been a big shot. They've had their chances to cut it to one possession. Now Wiggins. They change sides of the floor in the man-to-man off the miss. That's part of why the zone's been so effective. They've been scoring every time they can get into it. And a defensive 3-second call on Lively.
So we could see J-Dub come up here. He overall 6 of 10 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 4 assists, no turnovers.
Yeah, no Joe, no Shay, no Chet.
Not much. This is one of the lower creation lineups we've seen from OKC at any point in any series.
Nice pass, weak side. Dort going past Luka. Kick out. Wiggins has to go to the mid-ranger over Lively, and Lively again, causing big problems for the flow of OKC's offense. They have all these plays where they expect to get a shot at the rim, and he just takes them out of it. Washington is back in. Here's Green's three-pointer, well short. Irving pushed J-Dub out of the way and will go the other direction.
That is only the second foul on Kyrie Irving, but Dallas, I think they've committed 4 in the quarter so far, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's not marked on the screen yet. I think that was their 4th.
Yeah, OKC hasn't scored in forever. Their only point has been on a defensive 3 seconds. Dallas back in the zone, and Irving picks up another little cheapie.
Yeah, before that, their last made field goal was at 8:25 left in the third. So we're 4.5 minutes basically.
Yeah, and that's a bad foul. Williams will get a chance here now to score OKC's first real points in forever.
But he misses.
He missed it. Yeah, that's not going to help. Yeah, how long has it been since they have scored?
So the last made basket was 8:25 for OKC. They have that free throw in the interim.
Yeah, Irving will sit down with 3. Doncic also has 3 as finally OKC scores. And I think they're going to wait until the under 3 timeout to bring back Shay. And there's another little cheapo foul on the perimeter.
I think that's the 3rd on the Thunder.
Oh, well, Giddey is said to fix
stanch
things
the bleeding
for the Thunder.
It's gone so well before.
Luka looking to post up on Dort. Dort goes around him and takes it away. Luka couldn't seal him. Here's Dort going into Hardy. That's going to be a block. No! Whoa! That is very surprising.
And I'm guessing a challenge. I'm guessing a challenge is coming here.
He doesn't make the shot here. Yeah, I mean, that's...
Oh, was there a goaltend? I think it was goaltended.
He ever gets into his path there. Yeah, that's the reason for the challenge, too, is the 5th on Dort.
5th on Dort, but I think the block was clean by Josh Green. Because I was going to say, could it be an even bigger swing?
Yeah.
No, that to me, that's pretty clearly a defensive foul, as it should be called.
Live, it didn't look like there was any way he could get there. Generally, when you slow it down, it looks better for the defender. How do you think this one turns out?
We need to see what OKC can do against the zone if Dallas is going to keep going to it. I mean, they've had a pretty convincing.
I meant the challenge.
Oh, the challenge.
But if you want to talk about the whole game, we can talk about that too.
I'd like to see it one more time, but I think it's a block, personally. Let's see if we have any questions. Nate, question is, what do you think OKC should be doing against the zone?
And all the usual stuff, trying to move the ball from side to side.
But,
all right. That's a big overturn right there.
Yes, it is.
You keep Dort on the floor.
Wow.
Well, I guess this is not the actual. That's just the in-arena camera that just showed that. It's not.
Correct.
It's not ESPN.
But yeah, that is a big call. So instead of being Lou Dort's 5th, it's Jaden Hardy's 2nd, and they did
free throws for Dort, and then they'll probably, I would guess, put Shay and Chet back in the game now.
And yeah, they got a long break,
and they survived. By the way, they survived that period.
Let me see.
Dallas had their chances, but I think that's maybe we'll look back on that as Dallas should have done more in that time.
So it was when Shay checked out, it was 77-73 with 5:18 to go. So yeah, I mean they completely survived the Shay out minutes.
If he's coming back, you never know.
Yeah, we really don't know.
And they also have to survive the Giddey minutes as well.
Well, maybe this short circuits those.
Yeah, but getting back to the zone, point at Derek Lively and make sure that he isn't in the lane for 3 seconds. I mean, number one is get stops, because then they can't set up the zone. That's number one. And number two, of course, is getting the ball up quickly, moving it from side to side, and then trying to get the ball to the free throw line area. Pretty much any NBA zone is going to self-destruct once you get the ball to the free throw line area. I would even consider putting Shay in that area if you're playing him with Wallace. And yeah, so no Chet still. Shay is back in. But yeah, if you're playing Wallace and J-Dub together, so I'd be trying to get the ball to either Shay or J-Dub, slipping in behind the guards to the free throw line area and let those guys make plays from there. And once you get the ball to the free throw line area, then you can engage the center and then throw the ball to the corners, or you also got to fill the corners as well. So I think you want to kind of be in like a 2-1-2 formation, where you've got both corners filled and then try to get guys rotating in towards the free throw line.
Yeah, it's actually something we talked about. Was that the Philly Knicks series that they came up in?
And also the Boston Miami series.
That's right.
Yeah, OKC back up 8 here. They've restored order into the post. Doncic. Holmgren trying to come over into the strong side zone. Doncic can't get space. He just shoulders Dort out of the way, but maybe he felt guilty and he left it short. Now Shay on the push. Gets the drag screen from Chet. Good help at the nail from Irving off of Wiggins. Shay working again. He's fresh. Can't get the shot off. They still got plenty of time here. It'll be Dort. Giddy in the corner. He drives baseline. Got it knocked away. Tips it to the corner. Chet getting it off. And he hit the side of the backboard. And then again, that speed of release from Chet is absolutely glacial.
It's a concern. I think that can be improved in the offseason, though.
Absolutely, yeah. He just kind of has a long, just to reduce the dip a little bit. Better shot prep before he catches the ball. Great individual defense by P.J. Washington there, though. Now Luka just fires. Little aggressive there.
That should be Dallas ball. Wiggins knocked that out.
Doncic in the opposite corner. They try to run it for P.J. Washington. Chet takes that away. Now Irving will work. Firing the three, going left, and he drains that. Going left, not his preferred side, but Kyrie knocks it down, and certainly Kyrie could explode at any time to bring this home for Dallas. Here's Shay blowing by Gafford and finishes off the window. That's incredible there. Full speed, blow by, help comes, Euro step off the glass from about 10 feet away.
That's OKC's first made field goal in over 6 minutes of game time.
Irving has a lot of confidence on Wiggins. Breaks his ankles. Missed the three, though. Yeah, they're trying to get away with no Wallace right now and no J-Dub. So Irving has the matchup. They miscommunicate and give up a three to Gilgeous-Alexander. Terrible defense there. One of the few times we said that about Dallas. Now Irving. And he's just destroying Wiggins right now. They can't continue in that matchup. They've done such great work on Irving throughout the series. I think that's J-Dub at the table. There's Shay getting the space on Gafford. Oh, that guy's so good, man. This is now 7 points in a row for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They can't contain him. And it seems like they've got away from the zone, oddly. I don't understand why. Here's Kyrie. I mean, he's just blowing by Wiggins every time. They're just getting lucky that he's missing. Now here's Wiggins, open corner three. Missed it. Dort flies in.
That was so
that
dangerous
should have
from
been his
Dort.
fifth foul. He crashed into Gafford, but it gets put back. Was that Giddey who got that? Gafford is down. That should have been Dort's fifth. He just crashed right through him. And Dallas is going to have to take a timeout right now. What happened to Daniel Gafford? My screen kind of froze in the middle of that play.
Well, I'm guessing we'll get a replay here. Yeah, I didn't see it cleanly either. I think it was involved. I might have been on the Lou Dort offensive rebounding action. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, no, he crashed into Gafford for sure. I couldn't see what happened there. Yeah, I'm going to go back and see if I can catch what happened to him.
If you were an NBA owner, where would your seats be? Oh, I've only gotten to sit, and it wasn't even true baseline. It was technically right off the baseline for one NBA game, and it was one of the cool. It was a preseason game, Warriors Kings at the Shark Tank in San Jose,
man.
And it was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced.
Oh, that preseason game, yeah, that was awesome.
That was so cool. I would sit baseline as much as you, or sit sideline. It was awesome.
So, Dort gets up in the air. He's going to knee Gafford in the back of the head.
Ow.
That was absurd that wasn't an offensive foul. They still are not going to bother showing it to you guys, I guess.
Well, is this the TV feed or is this the? Oh no, because they're showing
This is
OKC
TV.
makes. Yeah, they should definitely show it.
How did they never show the replay of the guy getting injured? And that's Dort's fifth now.
That's
And
a version. That's a version of Ball Don't Lie. A different version.
Yeah, I mean, that's really one of the first just like cheapy bullshit ones that Doncic has been able to get on Dort. Although this comment was made in the comments, and I might agree with it, that Wallace and J-Dub, I might like that combination better. Like, I thought J-Dub was actually pretty good on Luka in his stint.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, that's an obvious foul.
And Dort putting his hands up afterwards, like, buddy, that's not where your arm was at the time. Not even close.
Yeah.
And Luka's hyper efficient game has continued. That is his 25th point, 7 to 10 from the field, 5 assists, though he does have 7 turnovers.
Yeah. They go after Luka. Here's Shay into the lane, kicks out. Wallace didn't take that three, probably should have. They still got time here, though, but they're not going to get the 2-for-1. Chet, no, it's taken away. Irving rotated in front of him.
And they should hold.
Give it back to Luka. So they like Irving guarded by Chet here. Double team comes. They're going to double it early to get it, make him go early. Here comes another double team on Doncic. Doncic using the forearm liberally. They get him in a rotation. Big three, Jones Jr., and that's his third of the quarter.
And that is the downside of the double team.
Why is he going so slow? Did he just have no idea how much time was left? What was that?
That was very weird.
You're gonna do all this trapping shit and then not push it up to try to actually take advantage. It seems pretty foolish. Like, they give up an open corner three by this trapping. You're supposed to actually then come back and maybe get to score. That's how the math works out, because you're giving up a much better shot by trapping than they'd get if they felt like they had to run all the time down to get the last shot.
And so we head to the fourth quarter. Dallas outscored OKC 35-26 during that. OKC had a stretch of over 6 minutes where they didn't get a field goal, but I don't think that's where the margin got expanded or got cut. It was before that. And so,
well, in the beginning, the first 2 minutes of that was like a 12-0 run.
Exactly. Oh yeah, but I think the field goal gap was actually slightly after that. I think I'm not 100% sure of that, but because the Dallas the 12 run I think was at the very beginning. Anyway, we don't need to get into all that. I'm interested in what rest we see during this fourth quarter. So Shay's at 31 minutes, Luka's at 33, Kyrie's at 31. Chet's had more because he's been in foul trouble, though now his three is fine as things go. Nobody on Dallas is in foul trouble. So I don't think Luka's playing 45 in this one, do you?
Depends how close they are. I mean, that was a huge end of the quarter for Dallas after OKC went up double digits again. Both teams shooting well from three, but OKC cooled off a little bit. Dallas is now 11-24. And I think unless Dallas is going to that zone, they haven't really shown to me that they could defend OKC when their best guys are on the floor in this game. And maybe the zone will get beat up too. For some reason, I guess they don't like Gafford in the zone. I didn't really understand that. Also, we have no idea. They still have not showed it to you guys, but Dort flew in and just kneed Gafford in the back of the head. I haven't seen anything about what his status is. Maybe there's something about that on Twitter.
Kyle asked the Mavs were 7 of 11 from 3 that quarter. There were 6 of 11 from 3 in the quarter. OKC was 2 for 7. So, and Dallas turned it over 5 times, but OKC only scored 4 points off those 5 turnovers in just the third quarter. Bart mentions that the first play was a cheapy foul on Dort. I believe that's right. I think there was one at the very, very beginning of the game. I think I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, we got asked a couple of times of who we like better in the next series. OKC would be it for me. Just due to the Luka health aspect.
Yeah, especially with Lucas. We know something's up there. We don't know how up or how, like everything, but he's definitely limited.
So they screen away for Shay here. Now he screens for J-Dub. They get into a pick and roll action and a block from behind by Jones Jr. That was a difficult play to guard, and they defended it. Lively is in again. I wonder if we will see Gafford anymore. I haven't seen anything about that. Wallace now has the matchup against Doncic. This is a very good offensive group for OKC, and Doncic able to, no, it squirts out somehow.
And I'd love to see OKC push that harder, but great job. Dallas transition defense has been a strength in this series.
Here's Chet firing up a 3. Again, he just can't get anything from out there to go. Now Irving picked up by Joe. Roll to the basket from Washington. Joe does well to get underneath him. Then Holmgren came over to disrupt. Lively tipped out, but right to J-Dub. OKC transition here. Who can get the first bucket of this quarter? Shay can't get Jones Jr. in the air. He has to change sides of the floor through J-Dub. Pick and roll. There's Holmgren wide open.
And making some real contact on that screen, opened it up for Holmgren.
Yeah, I thought Lively is just too aggressive stepping up there. He can't let Holmgren get behind him. And Jones Jr. is the low man, but he was concerned about Shay. Doncic getting around Chet, setting up Jones Jr. for a 4th 3-pointer of the half.
He has been huge during the stretch. It hasn't been PJ Washington. It has been Derek Jones Jr.
Back to the pick and roll. They switch it. Oh, yes!
Ooh.
Move by J-Dub around Lively on the switch. Woof! Now Irving finally gets separation against Wallace, and he drains it. The transition attack with J-Dub going into the cameras was available.
And running off a make. Always my favorite.
I mean, they've got Luka on Joe. They should go into that pick and pop game with Shay. Like, Joe should be screening for him. Now Kyrie, as Shay gets past him, Kyrie doesn't foul him. I thought that was a foul. Irving relentlessly pushing it up. Wallace stays with him. Irving tries to get open, not even close. Lively keeps it above his head, but he's pushed, or he gets the push in the back on Chet. Yeah, that's a good call. That was a good call right there. That 3 from Irving, he got pretty good look. I thought he's gotten good looks on Wallace. I would say 2 of the best that he's had. Now Dallas is in the zone. J-Dub getting right to his spot, but doesn't get off the ball quickly enough. Here's Shay now. Chet on the drive. Luka steps in for a blocking foul.
And that's Luka's 4th. Does Luka not understand what a blocking foul is? This is,
this is a lot of stars are like, hey, if I'm trying to make an effort play when I'm usually so lazy, like I should be rewarded. It's like, nah, it doesn't quite work that way.
Like, that's not even close to a charge.
Yeah, but that was on the pass off. Holmgren trying to work the free throw line area. Joe getting past Lively, setting up Wallace. Luka runs him off the line. OKC's got the churn going, but a tough fadeaway by Williams as they thought they had more time than they had. Again, Wallace passed one up there.
Yeah, you wish Casey Wallace could even have a slight pull-up jumper in his arsenal, but Luka does.
I thought that was a great challenge by J-Dub, but Luka got to his spot one of the few times they didn't double team. Again, it was transition. Back to the zone here. They find Chet rolling to the rim, and he throws it away. Like that, just stay. He could just stay in the corner there. I mean, look at that challenge. That is right in his grill. So Dallas can cut it to one possession again. They failed to do that earlier. Here's Washington. Late contest. Missed it. And Holmgren, inside position, will go the other way. Another foul on Lively. How many is that on him?
It's only his third, but it's also the third team foul in the Mavericks.
And yeah, he's got the arm over his shoulder there. That's where the foul takes place. Chet's going to get a rest.
This could be a big, 2 to 3 minute stretch for Dallas.
Yeah, he's only gone 27 minutes here. I think they should get him back in very quickly. Surely at the under 7, they will. Here's Shay on the attack, on the go and catch. Wallace fires it, in and out. I think they really should be trying to look for Joe a little bit
Joe was
more.
he was wide open on the strong side there.
Now it's Shay guarding Irving.
Wanted to see
trying
this.
to put him in the mix. Irving backing off. Good contest. Missed it off the heel.
Shay did well there.
I agree. Now they're in the man-to-man. No, they're back in the zone anyway, even on a miss. There's the open 3 by Joe, and that's a huge shot to push it back to 3 possessions. Irving has had chances for huge shots that he largely has missed here in the second half. Good job by J-Dub getting over the screen. Here's Lively going to the basket, one of the few finishes he's had. And I thought Jay Will was too aggressive there. J-Dub got over the screen, but now they don't know who they're guarding. They give up another wide open 3 that misses. Wallace has not really been able to make him pay for not guarding him.
Yeah.
Now Luka working on J-Dub. J-Dub is all over him. Help comes at the nail. Luka tried to draw the foul. Couldn't.
What a
Lively
rebound.
has the rebound. They move it quickly. Irving's 3 is good. And finally, it's a 1-possession game. Timeout OKC.
Huge swing there. Cason Wallace misses a wide open 3. Then Dallas gets 2 shots at it, and Irving makes one. Cason Wallace 1 for 7 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3.
Yeah, do you think we see Gafford again?
I hope we do.
Gafford is -25, and Lively is +23. That's really been the pattern.
Generally. Some of that is about who you play with and against, though.
Sure.
But Lively, I think Lively has done well overall in this game. He's been very good on the glass.
Now, they weren't helped by the fact that Gafford, they just weirdly didn't play the zone with Gafford out there, but they did with Lively.
Dion asked who the Mavs would match up better with: Denver and Minnesota. Minnesota, because they have nothing for Jokic.
Yeah.
And I think that Denver's defenders can do a reasonable job, especially if Luka's limited. And I think Minnesota's can too, but Minnesota doesn't have the offensive heft that Denver does, except for how they played the first 6 games of the playoffs.
Can anyone explain this rotation pattern from Mark Daignault? Well, they haven't put Gideon in this quarter.
In this quarter they haven't, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he just wants these guys to be fresh down the end. But yeah, and Chet had some foul trouble, but I mean, you got to go with your best 5 here the rest of the way. Dort is on 5 fouls too. I think that's part of the problem as well. Is just They generally have Dort in pretty much whenever Luka is in, but they haven't had that option, and so that's changed things up a little bit.
Feels like OKC is playing more like regular season minutes. It's a little bit different with Chet because he was dealing with foul trouble. I mean, Shay's going to end up probably in the low 40s. J-Dub is going to end up in the high 30s. I'm mostly okay with that.
Yeah, I would say J-Dub is the one that maybe they could have pushed a little bit harder. Like they maybe could have pushed Chet a little bit harder. Chet actually, we haven't been thinking about it much because he has been on the ball, but he's gotten a lot of dunks around the rim. He actually has 17 points.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would be against the zone, I would be trying to have him working along the baseline more. And if you can get the ball to the free throw line, force that center to step up and guard you, then you can lob it up to Chet along the baseline. Or if they try to back up and take that away, then you've got the pass to the corner.
Yeah,
So I would not want to give Chet the ball at the foul, and I want him more along the baseline.
Yeah, you could have him. You could even have him in the corner, depending on how you want to structure.
Yeah, you put him in the corner, and then he can cut. Yeah, it's remarkable that Irving has taken 13. He's largely shot more in the second half in these playoffs, but he's been very aggressive. So they've got Washington guarding Chet Holmgren now. Dort is back in the game with the 5 fouls. Shay gets by his man. Dort is wide open for 3, and he missed it. Another missed OKC wide open 3. Now Irving against Jalen Williams. Doesn't have as much confidence against him, but he's feeling it now. He tried to go to his right, and Jalen was right there. He'll try again. Jalen is still on him. Irving around him. Just can't finish. Tipped around. What a rebound by Lively, and he's going to get fouled.
Lively's made a big difference on the glass overall. That's his 4th individually credited offensive rebound, but I think he's been involved in a few others.
Yeah, I can't say I saw much of a foul there. Maybe Holmgren hit him on the arms to make him lose it there initially. Doncic trying to post up on Wallace. I like this ATO. Corner. Washington. Good rotation. Jones Jr. above the break. They actually have to run him off. Chet can't forces the miss, but then it's Lively for the dunk, and Dallas has tied it. And OKC, Jalen Williams is headed back to the table for some weird reason.
Well, maybe they're going to play him at the 4 and the 5.
Now Shay trying to take over. OKC facing elimination. They've led all night. Here's Wallace on the drive. Goes to the reverse. What a cheeky finish that was. Lively never thought he would shoot it. Doncic going after Wallace again. Irving left open. Ooh, that could have given Dallas the lead.
I'm very interested in who Jay Will is checking in for here.
Well, it's going to be Chet.
I'm not 100% sure it is.
Underneath Wallace, not a threat from there. He's got Lively on him. But now move the ball. Here's Williams up to Chet. What a pass that was. And that all happens because they get Lively, the center, on Wallace. He probably should have just hung out in the lane anyway, but Chet able to get beyond the defense for a lot of alley-oops. Dort perilously close to his last foul. Here's the drive by Washington. Tries to bully his way in. Into Chet and a reach in on Shay.
And we got asked about Gafford playing in the 4th quarter. And part of it is that Lively's been better, and they've been better with Lively on the floor. But also Gafford got kneed in the head by Lou Dort. We don't know if he's available.
I want to say he's had concussion problems in his career too, but I may be misremembering that. It's been a while. Definitely not this year. So big free throws by Washington, who has struggled at the foul line.
He was in the concussion protocol earlier this year.
Ah, okay. I guess
he missed 2 games.
Oh, and you were right, Danny. They are going 2 bigs here.
Ah!
Wow.
I thought they were going to.
It's worked in the series. They haven't gone to it at all. I think really since I want to say game 3. Washington only 1 out of 2, but Williams does get the rebound. He tips it to Shay. Here's J Double on the baseline, kicks it out. And now Jalen Williams goes in for the dunk. Wow. Wallace and Williams owning the baseline. OKC has met every challenge so far. Irving trying to get around him. Here's Lively. He's stopped by Chet, but a foul. He gets it in off the backboard somehow. Let's see if this is a foul here. Yeah, that was a nice finish by Lively. He goes around the contest. He was trying to dunk it and a clear foul. That was a great play. clearly wrong when I said he got stopped by Chet, because A, it was a foul, and B, he had a beautiful
his
finish.
momentum got stopped, but
Yeah. Yeah, Kyrie looking exhausted. He actually, I think, must have asked out of the game there, and they'll surely take a timeout pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're going to call him right away because Luka's off the floor too.
Yeah, they'll call it right after this possession. Shay gets to his spot and hits. So immediate timeout. This is
Oh,
a use
I
it or
kind of
lose it.
wanted Dallas to run one play there to see what happened.
They weren't even going to fuck around with bringing the ball up the floor at first.
Yeah. Yeah, that was no Luka, no Kyrie, no Jaden Hardy on the floor, all for one possession. I just kind of wanted to see what would happen.
I mean, good job. I think that's actually a smart move. If you're going to take the timeout, you got a free throw, put all your defensive lineup in there, but then they scored on it anyway. I'm wondering, can Lively maintain this energy level? He's been alternating back and forth with Gafford all playoffs, 4-minute stints. This is going to be like 14 minutes straight from him.
I think it might even be more. I'm going to look at when he checked in the third.
Yeah, reset you here briefly. OKC, they have their use it or lose it available if they want it. I mean, the way that they have subbed, everyone other than Shay should be relatively fresh. So I would actually not take that if I were them, unless there's just some specific moment like after some free throws where it makes sense. And then the Mavs are out of challenges. OKC has one available.
Yeah, they've already used one, but it was successful, so they have access to another.
Yeah, both teams have 2 fouls before the bonus. See if we can hit a few comments here.
Alaskan has asked if fouling is a problem for Dort. At times it is. He's a relatively high foul player. I think he's around like 4 per 36, something in that range. But what Dort has at times is a propensity to pick up cheapies, which leads to problems in the playoffs because smaller samples, when you can do things like that, they add up at random moments in time.
Are we doing both games tomorrow? Yeah, game 7. I think that's pretty much the rule. If it's a game 7, we got to do it. Now, will we be potentially aggressive about bailing out if it's over to save ourselves? Yes, because 8 hours of talking in a day is a lot when you consider the podcast as well.
Yeah. Is Jay Will good enough where the Thunder don't need to look into adding a better backup center? I think so for now. I think that Jay Will is underappreciated. But the thing that the Thunder can do, and I brought this up with Zach Edey before, is a different theory of center. But I wouldn't want them to use a lot of resources on that because Chet Holmgren is a 5. You don't want to bring in somebody else who's going to like slide him to the 4 more often or kind of conflict some of that stuff. So if you can get somebody in there that can help, you do that. So like use one of your first round picks or something like that, but don't like throw 20 million in cap space at it.
Are game 7s overrated? No, I don't think so.
The quality of play in game 7s may be overrated, but the games themselves are not.
Yeah, that shot was ridiculous. That was probably his best one of the day. Yeah, that was a massive shot for Shay. And he's done better playing out a pick and roll at this point. And I want to see what Dallas's option is going to be defensively. If I'm OKC, I'm going to try to really hunt Luka. He's looked pretty tired, I would say, in this second half on defense. 2-possession game, 105-101. This has been our highest scoring game of the series. Lively. Jay Will gets back underneath him. We've got Chet hanging out on the baseline. Irving on the drive goes into Jay Will, has to fight it up, missed it. Lively is hitting Chet, but he missed that. Oh no, they are going to give him the foul call there. I was going to say he has really been hurting Chet on the defensive glass, and that now is going to be a 5th on Chet Holmgren.
And that is great work by Derek Lively. Just beat his fellow rookie to the spot.
Well, and Jalen Williams is just standing there.
True.
Right? Like, and that's something that he does too much of. Like, his rebound rate is pretty bad. Like, Chet has Lively locked up pretty good there. He can't really jump. If someone else just runs in, they could just grab the ball in that circumstance. So you're leaving Chet one-on-one. That the whole point of defensive rebounding is you have the numbers advantage. So the Smalls needed to do a better job there. Lively misses. Washington got inside on Williams. The offensive rebounding for Dallas has kept them in it. Now it's Doncic going at Dort. Goes to the corner. Washington's three. Tie game. What a pass.
And a big trip down the floor there for the Dallas Mavericks, getting the foul and getting the three.
This fourth quarter offensive rebounding for Dallas has killed OKC. Into the corner, Chet gets off the ball. Man-to-man here for Dallas. Williams gets to his spot. Jalen Williams, huge corner three. That missed. And Dallas could take the lead again here. Shay did not get an attack on that possession. Dort has 5 fouls. Doncic works into his spot. Got space. Dallas leads it. And now a timeout for OKC. They've given up a 6-0 run, and the offensive boards have absolutely killed them. And credit Lively, Washington. They gave up a free throw offensive rebound. Jalen Williams did not box out PJ Washington. Jay Will did not box out PJ Washington, and they got a 3 off of that. And not what you wanted to see as Mark Daignault when you're going with 2 bigs so you can rebound better. I think that
True.
Probably, if you're asking him after the game, why'd you do that? I'm guessing that was probably his thought process. And that's just not their identity, I don't think, right? Like,
it's going to need to be, though.
I'll also say this, too. Doncic and Irving have been getting better looks against their individual defenders than at any other point in this series, I would say.
It does seem like they're getting more comfortable. Irving has been activated during the second half for sure, and Luka knows his spots. That was a great pass to PJ Washington.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Jay Will was guarding there. I guess he's guarding the center, actually. They've got Chet guarding Jones Jr. in these matchups. So they double Shay in the backcourt now. Interesting. They're going to give up a wide open 3 out of that, and he makes it. Wow. A gamble that did not pay off at all. Wide open 3. Don't double off of that guy. Now it's Dort on Irving. Irving not really a foul jar. Doncic against J-Dub. Tries to get to his spot. Gets past him. Jay Will comes over and just swallows it up. Another offensive rebound, though, for Dallas. Can Irving get it off here? And it drops!
Whoa!
Another Dallas offensive rebound and an impossible shot by Irving. Now Shay's got the matchup with PJ Washington. Gets into the lane. Tough fade away by him is good to tie it at 110. Absolute daggers going back and forth now.
And there aren't going to be stoppages here. I think they're just going to keep playing because each team has 2 timeouts left.
Dallas likes to go to these screens with their 2 best players, Irving against Dort. I actually like Irving's matchup against Dort. Now they're going to go at Jay Will and pick and roll.
Illegal
and
screen.
An offensive foul. Lively. And that, to me, might have been Irving going too early. Let's watch the left leg. Yep, way outside the cone of his body. Absolutely. Here's Shay getting Washington on him again. Goes behind his back. Now into the lane. The reactive handle. Can't get space. Fires it up over him. Left it short. Shot probably. Yep, absolutely. Should have just passed out and got it back. Irving's looking a little tired here now. Luka's just going to go one-on-one. Here comes the double team. Washington is wide open. His 3-pointer is good.
And PJ Washington was quiet for the first 3 quarters and then has been huge in this final stretch.
Yeah, on the boards and from 3. Here's Shay again. Kicks it out. Dort. bad OKC spacing. Now Williams will attack. Turns on the Jets into the lane. Swallowed up. 8 to shoot for OKC. Doncic wants a review, but they don't have a challenge. Yeah, I thought like that to me, Chet's got if on that Washington 3, if Shay's gonna go off of him, then Chet has to get the next rotation. And they just didn't have any kind of communication there.
Only 4 seconds.
Yeah, he's got to get it off. Here's a 3 from Holmgren. Oh, that could have tied it. Another missed 3. Holmgren and Wallace have had so many chances. Dallas can push it to a 2-possession lead. They can close the series out here. They're going after Jay Will and pick and roll. J-Dub is on the back of Irving. Kick out. Jones Jr. gets past Chet into the corner. Blocked. Another offensive rebound. Jones Jr. goes up, and he makes it.
Oh!
Miss off the offensive glass. OKC pushing it up again. Shay backs his man off. His 3 is good.
Oof.
Great opportunism there by Shay to get a 3 in transition, and OKC desperately needed that. Now a minute left. Doncic and Dort. The pace has been exhausting here. Run it down to 10. Luka working on it. Wants to go over his right shoulder. Gets space. Goes to the corner. Washington's 3. That's off. OKC can push it here. They got to get the 2 for 1. Probably should have taken timeout. They don't. Is Shay going to go fast enough? He tries to step back. He's closed out. Daigneault should have taken a timeout there too. Still on the ball. Still Shay. He should take it now. They've got nothing with 10 seconds left. Shay is going to get chucked, and that's the foul to give, but they blew it. They didn't get the 2 for 1. I understand maybe earlier,
but once there's nothing on the first try.
Yeah.
And like on that play, Shay was so aggressive. He used the situation well, but then on the second one, they didn't get it fast enough. And so
yeah,
now they're going to have to foul.
They are not going defensive subs here. Luka's hiding out on Chet. And 14 to shoot.
And reminder, no spoilers in the chat, either place.
Oh, and that's going to be an away from the play foul. They're going to get to shoot a free throw here. Dort fell down, setting the screen. Washington ran right through him. The ball was never even released on the inbound. This will be 1 free throw. But that's actually, is that good for OKC? Oh, man, that's, if they had a challenge left, I don't think Dort is set there. He does not give him a chance to avoid him at all. That is not a right call. You're supposed to, as a screener, give the defender a chance to avoid you. I don't think he did that there. And Washington is limping, too, after that collision.
But Dallas does not have a challenge, and so
Shay
what this
has not been reliable from the line. He does make that one.
But so what this does is OKC. This is gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, so Daigneault's going to call a timeout here. If they were dumb enough to leave Luka, Kyrie is one of their best defenders. He'll be out there. But if they were dumb enough to leave Luka out there, I would have just gone after him. Now we'll see whether they take Luka off the floor at this point. I don't think they will anyway. So maybe it's not going to matter.
And Daigneault used one of his 2 timeouts, but Kidd still has both. So Dallas can easily call a timeout after this possession if they want to.
I mean, we're going to look at it afterwards. The offensive rebounding numbers for Dallas in this fourth quarter, and that's good. We're going to look back on it. That and their second half 3-point shooting, 11-19, is going to be what won them the game. But they haven't won it yet.
Oh, good question. Does OKC have a foul to give? They do not. They have committed 4 team fouls, so they will be able to generate free throws on the next one.
All right, so let's talk about what they're going to do here. They're going to get Joe into the game, surely.
Have to
now, and I think if Luka is out there, I would try to involve him in a pick and roll. See if you can get him on Shay or get 2 on the ball.
Or if he's on Joe, use Joe as the screener.
Oh,
and
well,
do a pick and
surely,
pop.
yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
why they would
he's
have
starting to.
Dort out here right now. I mean, maybe there's just he I guess he is a good three-point shooter in theory, but they don't have a better one.
That's an indictment too.
Chet screens back for Shay. Jones Jr. is on him. They involve Lively in the pick and roll. They switch it. Are they going to double team? They don't. Shay on the drive. Up to Chet.
Oh!
With a huge jab on the baseline. OKC leads. Dallas is going to come back with it here. They've got good no timeout because Joe is on the floor. They go right at him. Are they going to trap? No. Luka waves him away. Luka tries to get to his spot to try to go to the conference finals. Washington in the corner tried to draw the foul.
Wait, what did
they gave it to him? The challenge will surely be coming here.
It's a challenge.
I thought he jumped sideways.
I thought this was closer to an offensive foul than a defensive foul.
And it actually to me,
he put his arm out.
Did he get him on the arm?
You put
you can put your arm out. Oh, and he got the ball first too. He got the ball first. And also, did you see who tipped that in, by the way? I think it was Irving who tipped in what would have been potentially the game winner had the foul not been called. So this is crazy because he blocked it first. Are they going to say that blocking it and then it's marginal contact after that on the arm?
But so there is a clear recovery by Dallas.
Yeah, although if the whistle is blown, it has been blown. Yeah, everyone else stops there. This will be a jump ball. I think that this is going to be a good block and
it
no foul. What a block. Yeah, I mean, that's... Although the fact... No, it's going to be So, you know what makes this play? I was going to say this actually before they came to this ruling. What makes this play is he doesn't get the ball knocked out of his hands. Because it's a block, but he still technically has a chance.
He's still in his shooting motion.
Right? Like, so it gets blocked. So he tries to actually go to the double pump. And as he's doing the double pump, he still has two hands on the ball.
And Nate, OKC's out of timeouts.
Yeah, that's their last timeout. So this is going to be, I mean, now let's keep this in mind.
It's three shots for the series.
He has been a very unreliable free throw shooter. He's shooting like 50% as a Maverick. So he could easily miss two of these. And that one rims in. Not exactly ice free throw, but it does rim in.
Does it need to be ice to be nice enough?
And PJ Washington here, if he makes this, can basically put Dallas into the conference finals. He needs one of the last two. And he rims in the second one. Neither of them was good, but both
Nate,
rimmed
crazy
in.
Question: do you miss this intentionally?
Jason Kidd. No, because Kidd is saying don't foul, don't foul. No, I think you just because they're going to get a three regardless. I would miss it intentionally. That's what he does. They get it in, throw it ahead. J-Dub, and that's it. Dallas on a foul by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, an amazing playmaker. He blocks the shot, but Washington held onto the ball long enough that it was a foul in the corner. Doncic makes the pass that led to the game-winning foul, and the Dallas Mavericks make their second Western Conference Finals appearance in 3 seasons.
Incredible. Lots for OKC to discuss over the next few months. Some decisions for Sam Presti to make. But Dallas, moving on to the conference finals. We will find out who they face tomorrow. Nate and I will do both Game 7s, the competitive portion, for the live show. And then, of course, we will break everything down for Dunked On.
All right, we'll talk to y'all on Dunked On later tonight after dinner.